Hey, good afternoon to our viewers as well on the business desk. At this hour, analysts have sought to highlight that the immediate concern over the current trade environment will be logistical. Calls for a stronger coordinated national logistics strategy and political diplomacy have emerged as the 30% US tariffs come into effect. This comes as Maersk will discontinue its direct shipping service from South Africa to the US from October. Now, that development around Maersk resulting in analysts saying the loss of one of only two direct links to the US forces exporters to route cargo via Europe's congested ports, which will be costly. Program coordinator for MCOM in supply chain management at the IMM Graduate School, Dr. Ernst van Biljon, speaks to us about this. Thank you so much for your time. Let's first unpack the magnitude of Maersk discontinuing its direct shipping services from South Africa to the US.
Yes, I think this is overall a decision that no one really saw coming, but it has to do with global restructuring within Maersk. So, this is not a political decision or has anything to do with politics compared to some of the other issues that our exporters and our supply chains are facing right now. But as a result of that, we can still use that service, but then via Europe. And those ports are very congested. It will take more time. And I think for perishable goods and foods, for agricultural products, that will be a problem. Also for more high value items. We still have that one remaining shipping line directly to the US. But of course, that means over-reliance on a single operator. That's higher risk. There's no room for error. And a reduced competition. And as we know, with reduced competition often comes higher prices. So this is just another one of those waves of shocks that our exporters and our supply chains have experienced the last while.
Higher costs that consumers essentially cannot afford or the South African economy. Now, there is a call for a stronger coordinated national logistics strategy. What exactly would this entail in practical terms?
Yes, I must firstly say it was very good to see the President Ramaphosa, this week saying that South Africa will respond and are already responding to the situation around the tariffs, and of course now around some of these other logistical shocks. We are setting up an export support desk. Some of the trade missions will be escalated, will be supported. So I think that it is important to hear that coming from government. However, given everything that is going on in terms of the US tariffs, and of course we recently heard that Taiwan is going to restrict the export of semiconductors to South Africa. That is a political decision. So we need to work at multiple fronts. We need to have government work with the private sector, work with business. And although there are various levels of engagement between government and business, I think it now needs a dedicated strategy, a logistics, a supply chain strategy, looking at our strengths. What are we good at? What should we be doing? Which markets can we focus on and help and support our businesses in developing those new markets? I mean, growing markets in Africa, markets in the Middle East and Asia, but it will need a coordinated, dedicated strategy from both business and from government.
Now, in the absence of a deal that is workable when it comes to trade tensions easing as well as the departure of Maersk, what alternatives exist for South Africa?
Yes, so unfortunately, there are not that many alternatives. The US still remains one of our biggest trading partners, regardless of the tariffs. And it is good that the president has now had a phone call with President Trump. And we really hope that there will be some positive outcomes from that. We have seen up to now that the White House at times do not, sort of stick with those decisions, and that there have been changes, and we really hope that could be the case. But certainly as far as the logistics are concerned, we still have air, and air freight is a component of use, but it is expensive. So it does not offer us with a strong, viable alternative. We need to ensure that the one remaining shipping line to the US, that we engage with them, that we make sure that we really are on top of that and maintain good relationships, so that we can, at least as far as capacity is concerned, keep that capacity at the current levels.
Thank you so much for your input, Dr. Ernst van Biljon from the IMM Graduate School, talking to us about the effects of the US tariffs on the logistics economy.